Hello, friends. How's it hanging? What was I doing? Oh, yeah. I wanted to make a video about this character. It's my Lightning Strike Raider character. Um, Easily, probably the build I've had the most fun with this league. Even though my Spark build's really fun. I mean, I've just played more on this character, so this is like my bread and butter build this league. The same way Winter Orb last league was my bread and butter character. It was going to be this league, but I realized very quickly that Winter Orb is actually terrible for Sentinel farming because it kills the monsters before you can tag them with your Sentinel. Uh, so I had to re-roll out of Winter Orb like almost immediately after I put it together because I couldn't farm Sentinels. Um, and I knew I wanted to play Lightning Strike this league, so I had like already leveled up like a raider basically. But the gear was really kind of whack. Uh, and then I dropped a mirror, and I was like, holy Jesus. I can basically build everything I need now. So after I bought a bunch of Winter Orb gear, I was like debating whether or not I should buy an Omniscience or a Mage Blood. Because Mage Blood at the time, I believe, was like 170. And Omniscience at the time was like 60 exalts. And I ended up buying Omniscience because I realized very, very quickly that trying to build a Lightning Strike character these days without Omniscience is actually really hard to do. Trying to get the resistances as well as all of the damage that you would get with Omniscience is almost impossible. At least impossible at like a low to medium budget. At a very high like end game budget, you could probably get equal amounts of DPS, but even then, with a comparable budget on Omniscience, you would just far surpass anything that wasn't using this amulet. So, um, I usually go over the tree first, but I'm gonna go over my gear first because it's gonna the gear impacts our tree and not the other way around as it is with some builds. Everything's kind of built around omniscience in this on this character, so yeah, omniscience. If you don't know how this works yet, you're probably new or you didn't play last league. It just gives you elemental pen and essentially makes it so you don't have to worry about resistances anymore. I'm not res capped at the moment because I switched the anoint because I was doing some ubers and I needed more DPS. But normally I would anoint utmost intellect and that would give us around like I think 8% more penetration. And pressing all the wrong buttons. It would give us like 8% more penetration and probably close to 8% more resistances, all res. So all in all, just better, well-rounded anoint for the character, but this, I believe, is the best DPS anoint for the character after Panopticon, but we already have that, so this was it. The bottom line is we're scaling attributes. Any and all attributes, basically. So we have a lot of strength, dex, and int on our rings. Because of recombinators this league, it has drastically made it's made building gear for this character drastically more easy. So that's why we have rings like this that look like this that are like cracked as hell. Like even this ring is just 20x, and last league it would have been like 30. But yeah, so essentially we just get two Amethyst rings for some chaos res. Um, we use a ferals to have 100% uptime on our frenzy and our power charges. Also, cat's agility is pretty nice. It gives us like crit chance and attack speed and stuff. Headhunter, honestly, you can use a mage blood with this build, but I think Headhunter just makes it feel so nice when you get like a Soul Eater buff and you're at like 250 Soul Eater stacks. God, it just feels so nice. Honestly, one of the better belts to use with this build. Um, like, if you really care about your POE ninja status, Mage Blood's probably going to help you with that, but overall, I think Headhunter is better for like 99% of mapping scenarios and even some bossing scenarios. The gloves are just temple gloves with +2 AoE. On the prefix for our auras, this is where we put our auras. So we have Grace, Anger, and Determination with a level 3 Enlighten. Even though we could use a level 4, we don't really need to. And then on the suffixes, we have Tier 1 Strength and Tier 1 Accuracy. Accuracy is very, very important because we don't get Dexterity. As you can see, without Omniscience, we have 700, and our like chance to hit goes through the roof. But without it, we're at 99.91 because we don't get the inherent accuracy bonus. So what we do, we just only have 32 dex, so like 60 accuracy isn't like a lot. So we need to fix accuracy, and this is just a good place to do that. Overall, really, really nice. I have literally spent probably 6 to 7 exalts trying to get this strike to 2 additional enemies, and it is infuriating. I think it's weighted. I don't know if I'm just drastically unlucky, but I've tried so many different times and spent so much money on conflict orbs trying to get this additional strike to 2, but I just haven't been able to do it. And then we get some spell suppression on the implicit here. We are at 100% spell suppression chance, which is really, really nice. Super insane kind of defensive mechanic there. As you can see, we're also Ellie ailment immune, which is why we have avoid elemental ailments on our shield. We also have spell suppress and block. You could get like +2 max all res on the suffix here instead of block if you wanted. I think block chance is better, just personally speaking, because like all attacks you're going to be mitigating instead of just an extra 2% damage of like all elemental stuff. I don't know, it's just personal preference. With the tier 2 block chance here, we have almost a 40% chance to block on our shield, which is just 40% less damage that we're taking. The prefixes could be better, not gonna lie. Could have like life. You know, I could slam it with a hunter orb for like percent max life, but I just haven't really done that. But yeah, it's a really nice shield. I bought this for I think like 130C in the second week of League, and I'm sure it's worth more than that, but pretty nice shield. The boots are just your standard boots. I don't have elevated tailwind, but that's because at the time I couldn't really be bothered to do that. really all you care about is the attack speed on Onslaught, the elevated Onslaught version, and you don't even need Elusive, since you already get Elusive from Nightblade. It's just something that, you know, if I ever did want to resell these, it would be nice to have on there. And then we got move speed on the Unveil, and then attack speed if you've killed recently, because, you know, I use this character for like speed mapping and boss rushing, so the extra attack speed really is quite nice. The helmet, so I was initially going to make a nearby enemies take increased elemental damage, because having a -9% to whatever resistance doesn't really help all that much when you already have so much penetration. It's still more damage, don't get me wrong, but if you have a 9% increased elemental damage taken to nearby enemies, that is going to be so much more drastically helpful to you than any sort of -9. So I was going to try and get that Shaper mod elevated with, like, I don't know, crit multi from Warlord or something, but ended up just not really doing that because I needed Aspect of the Cat somewhere, and getting a free suffix with those other two suffixes was going to be kind of a nightmare. You could also get like an additional power charge here. There's all sorts of stuff you could get on your helmet, but instead we got Essence Strength, which is actually really close to like 6% pen and 6% all-res because of Omniscience. We got some cold res as well, which is useless, but we got some decent life. Not the best helmet. Really, honestly, kind of trash, but it had the enchant I needed, and it's a Blizzard Crown, so, you know, this originally was going to be a placeholder, but, you know, it still works. Works fine. Ferals, I think I might have already talked about, but this is just so we have frenzy charges and power charges all the time. Also, cat stealth. We put Aspect of the Cat in here with less duration, so that these end up being, you know, a lot less. See, it's like 6 seconds, and then we put that in, and it goes down to like 3. Without that, you can't really sustain your frenzy charges and your power charges. So, but yeah, it gives you like crit chance, attack speed, stuff like that. Really nice to have. And then the claw, like I said, Recombinators have made it like insanely easy this league to make gear for this build. As you can see, I've picked up a lot of amethyst rings to make, but I already have 2 like almost perfect rings, so I don't really need these anymore. Another thing you could do is get temple gloves, because we are a triple elemental build. If you had like triple temple gloves, like, you know, the fire res, the cold res, and the lightning res, that would actually be really, really good for the build as well. If you can, you know, fix your accuracy on like your shield or something, you know, that potentially could be really, really nice for you. But with the claws, we basically just keep picking up claws that we find in maps. So we get like lightning here with fire. Let me see if I can like do a little dramatic reenactment here. So you get a claw like this with fire and lightning, and then you would want another claw with fire and cold, or lightning and cold. Since we don't have any more, we can just like throw cold on here and hope for the fucking best. But and then you just want at least one of the mods to overlap on the prefixes, and then you recombine them over and over and over again. until you get, wow, it actually deleted almost everything. That's impressive. Until you get something like this. So this is a triple essence claw. Where's the other ones I made? So this is another one that I made that's actually technically better because it has tier 1 lightning, and tier 1 lightning is better than the essence lightning. I just haven't really been able to find a Reforged Key prefix for it yet. But then you do prefixes cannot be changed and then hit it with a veiled chaos, or you reforge crit until you get like tier 1 multi, and then you want to aisling, and if it doesn't take off the multi and it takes off the prefixes cannot be changed, then you block like damage per charge and then unveil attack speed and then craft crit chance. I didn't do the reforge step. I just unveiled attack speed and crafted crit chance and called it a day. This claw is actually just, oh, it's so nice, man. It's so much better than the one I was using, to be honest. This claw at the moment at 880 DPS is 29 exalts. It's got 798 elemental DPS, 880 DPS, and like almost an 8% crit chance. So overall a really, really nice claw. And last league this would have been insanely more expensive, but this league it probably took me like, I don't know, 50 recombinators and 100 claws to make, like easily 3 or 4x. Like I would never have imagined I'd get a claw like this under 5 exalts. But yeah, even crafting it myself the old-fashioned way, I never thought that'd be possible. But yeah, a claw that would be better than this is like a fractured attack speed claw, and like doing it the old way. But even now, it's still really, really nice. So like a claw like this will easily get you through all content in the game. Flasks, we've got our Quicksilver with like a really bad suffix that I need to change. We've got Jade Flask, Diamond Flask with more armor, Life Flask, and then Bottled Faith. Wait, what? Oh, this is the, that goes there. So, the reason we go Raider is because we get a lot of Frenzy Charge scaling, and we get a free Frenzy Charge as well. But mainly it's for this node. So since we're a triple elemental build, having minus 20 to all res exposure, like to basically everything around us, is super, super helpful. It would be even more so if we were brittle and scorch and sap and stuff, but we're not. You can go Secrets of Suffering if you're struggling with crit, but that's more of something that Berserkers do because they have like a less multiplier on their crit chance. And then the big one is we get Ailment Avoidance. After playing this build with immunity to ailments, every build I've made so far after this build has had ailment immunity. Just because it's so nice. Like, the quality of life cannot be understated. Not being chilled or frozen is huge. Just not being slowed down is huge. Like, I don't even care about shock and ignite, really. But being chilled fucking sucks, bro. Like, seriously. And also phasing is really nice. This ascendancy was just made for simulacrum, right? Like we're spell suppress capped, we're elemental ailment immune, we have permanent phasing, we've got pretty close to 80% evade chance with flasks up and everything running. We've got like a 200% effect of elusive. We're, I believe, really close to stun immune, but I'm not sure. No, we're at 36%. Never mind. We got 44% block on top of that. And if we wanted, we could get fortify. So overall, it's just huge. I think the champion would have a much easier time in Simulacrum, but you know, you don't get free phasing and you don't get free spell suppress. Also, ailment immunity is going to be really hard to do, and that's almost mandatory in Simulacrum. So, like the three things you want the most in a Simulacrum, this Ascendancy gets like in spades, basically. Also, Avatar of the Slaughter, just, you know, movement speed, attack speed, damage, like all of that. Really, really nice to have. So the tree, we come up here, we grab Charisma, obviously, we grab the Jewel Socket. This is just life, Corrupted Blood, double multi, area damage. This is an insane jewel. I think I got this for like 2 exalts, which I can guarantee you this is not worth 2 exalts. It's much more. We come down through Heart of Oak, and then through One with Nature to grab the life. We grab plus 50 to max life. We need these accuracy nodes like desperately, just because, like I said, we don't get the the inherent benefit of dexterity, because, you know, it all gets converted to omniscience, so we don't get nearly as much accuracy as we would on a normal build. And then we get the precision reservation. We grab all 3 frenzy charges because we are frenzy charge stacking. We grab the crit stuff here. We grab the jewel socket for lethal pride, and we have 1 double damage, 2 double damage, armor, strength, a little bit of leech, and then that's about it. You can get one with like more double damage stuff or like even percent max life if you really want. I didn't really feel like rolling this with like 1,000 divines, so kind of just kept the 2 double damage nodes, which I thought was fine. We come grab lethality because lightning strike's a projectile skill. It has projectile in the tags. This works, so it's essentially just a lot of crit and some multi. We grab utmost swiftness because we are scaling all and any attributes, so this is just huge damage for us. This is where we get the last 20% of our ailment avoidance. Pretty much how everybody gets it is either these 4 nodes, or they grab the impossible escape for chaos inoculation and grab arcane sanctuary. Either of those will work. Even arcane sanctuary will give you some stun avoidance too, so not terrible there, not too bad, not too shabby. We grab point blank for the projectile portion of our skills, so we get the lightning beam from up top, which I believe counts as the melee portion, and then we have the little, you know, lightning projectile things that shoot out. So really, really close to our character, just at the start of this little beam is where we have our most damage of the projectile portion. We grab all these travel nodes for absolutely no reason at all. We have a thread of hope here, mainly just so we can grab Panopticon and not have to anoint it. But we also get some endurance charge generation on block, which is really nice. It'd be better if we were block capped, but I mean, in a simulacrum, you're getting hit so often that you'll essentially be at max endurance charges in every wave. Um, so that really helps with our fizz reduction because we do have determination and defiance, or I guess we don't have defiance banner, but we do have determination, and it's, you know, overall really helpful, but just determination isn't going to get you at, you know, 90% fizz reduction without any scaling of any kind. So, and then we grab Golem's Blood. So what you could do is drop these 3 nodes, come up here, drop some other stuff maybe, and then come into Fortify Mastery. If you're level 100, you would be able to just drop these 3 nodes and grab it, but you know, obviously that takes a while and a lot of not dying. But that's one way to get Fortify as a raider as well. So essentially whenever you hit something, you're going to be at 17 Fortify stacks, which is a lot. For a raider, that's just 17% less damage from hits. The Berserker Tree is a lot different. I'm not going to go over too much of like other ascendancies, but people do play Champion and people do play Berserker. If you're a Champion, a lot of people use Perseverance because you end up scaling armor and evasion very effectively, and you get free Onslaught because you're always going to be fortified. So this is kind of just like a best in slot belt, like straight up. And then a lot of people also grab the increased onslaught effect since you have permanent onslaught. It's just, you know, insane. Also, you get increased armor and evasion during onslaught, thus more effectively scaling the armor and evasion attack damage portion of the belt. So yeah, that's one thing you can use on a champion. On Berserker, I think Mage Blood is probably more or less going to be your friend, because even on Berserker, with Secrets of Suffering, it's still going to be kind of difficult to get defenses. Like, offense is the Berserker's specialty with this build, but defenses are in short supply because, you know, you're just going to be doing so much damage. It's good, but a Mage Blade can really help with your defenses, is all I'm saying, if you're a Berserker Lightning Striker. I would say Raider is like one of the most well-rounded builds, or Raider Lightning Strike is probably one of the most well-rounded builds I've played. You get ailment immunity, phasing, spell suppression cap, a lot of evasion, a lot of armor. You're fast as fuck. This is without a flask, right?
I'm not up to that just yet.
This is without a flask. This is with the flask. You just run so fast. This is a really good build for boss rushing. A really good build for just straight up map rushing for your invitations. This build is a really good conqueror farmer. So farming your conquerors, it's really good for farming guardians. And invitations, it can do well, but the feared, you're probably going to want to be doing a champion version, just because, you know, although we are tanky, a lot of our defense is kind of based on avoidance and not mitigation. So when we do get hit, we get hit kind of hard. So, but easily still can do like 98% of all content in the game very very effectively doing wave 30 simulacrums. Um, Very effective at, you know, deli mirrors, deli maps, triple beyond. Any mapping content, if you have a headhunter, it can do. Even without the headhunter, it can still do most content very, very effectively. Um, Gosh, what else? I guess, you know, flasks are bottled faith, this stuff. Oh, yeah, links. Shit, I didn't even go over the links. So, we have our Vol Lightning Strike, which is pretty important. You want the Vol version because uh, it's just like a button that essentially doubles your damage whenever you press it, and it's really, really huge. Especially in Simulacrum. This is just so nice to have. Um, we link this to awakened elemental damage with attacks, just for the more damage, obviously. We link that to anomalous inspiration because our mana cost is low enough to where we don't really care. You could get divergent inspiration, but I just like having the extra crit. We link this to Nightblade. This is your bread and butter. This is essentially what makes the build work as well as it does. This gives you, like, this is what makes this build go from like 400 crit multi to like 750 crit multi. Like, this is the amount of damage this one skill gem gives you is absolutely like gross. um, yeah. Anyways, we link this to multi-strike. This is a point of contention. You can pretty much put anything else here you want. If you don't like the way lightning strike works, or like kind of makes you stick in one spot the way spell echo does, you can switch it out. I like it because it's the most damage and you end up shooting out a lot more projectiles, especially with Soul Eater stacks. This is just straight up lovely to have. I would, you know, run the Awakened version, but I've got other builds to spend money on at this point. And then we use Trinity. This is why we have a 3 elemental claw, or like a tri-elemental claw. This is also another source of elemental penetration and another source of more damage. So, really, Nightblade and Trinity are probably going to be your biggest damage links. And then, other than those, the other ones you run are somewhat interchangeable. I would say this is like the biggest damage setup you can have, though. You know, give or take some other shenanigans you might be doing. In the shield, we've got Ancestral Warchief, Multi-Totem, and Ancestral Protector. So, Ancestral Protector just gives you more attack speed, and Ancestral Warchief just gives you more melee damage. The helmet, we have our Aspect of the Cadence, so we have less duration, link to Life Tap, link to Withering Step, and Whirling Blades. So we're always going to be able to do our Withering Step, and we're always going to be able to Whirling Blades. This is one of the reasons the build is so fast, is because Whirling Blades has no cooldown. So you can just keep on moving, keep on keeping on. Yeah, so honestly, any build I can fit Whirling Blades into in the future, I'm going to, because it's just so nice. It should actually be qualityed. I don't know why it's not qualityed. There we go. Sorry about that. In the claw, we have Anomalous Assassin's Mark, linked to Divergent Mark on Hit, linked to Life Tap. So, Divergent Mark on Hit makes enemies take increased damage, and Anomalous Assassin's Mark makes enemies take increased damage. So between these two, that's 9% more damage just from these alt qualities. You could also set this up with a enhance if you wanted to do a 4-link, or if you just like were confident you could have enough mana for it. I don't, so that's why it's on life tap. But if you had enough mana, you could put an enhance in there and then, you know, bump that number up higher from 9% to like, I don't know, 15 or something. But it's a lot of more damage just for two alt qualities that don't cost a lot. Anyways, in the gloves, we have Grace, Enlighten, Anger, and Determination. You know, you could run Wrath if you wanted less defense and more offense. You could even do a Divine Blessing setup with Wrath. Like a lot of people do that as well. And then we have +2 AoE in the gloves, so that gives 2 levels to all of our gems. In the boots, we have cast when damage taken, Immortal Call. You could do Molten Shell here if you wanted. Either is fine. I still think that 26% less physical damage is more than enough reason to use it. And then I also have Flame Dash and Precision. Precision is level 20 because we need the accuracy. The crit chance doesn't hurt either, but the accuracy is very important. Without Precision, we actually, I believe, yeah, we go down to 85% chance to hit. So it's like 15% less damage that you're doing, and 25% less damage against evasive monsters. And yeah, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, the cluster jewels. So we use a claw attack, feed the fury, feel the fight, martial prowess. We also have a small cluster for reservation, for determination. It has 35% increased effect. Not super necessary, but still really nice to have. And then we have one crit cluster with pressure points and quick getaway. We have a quad multi-jewel here. We have a Watcher's Eye with attack damage and precision and spell suppression. Like I said, our Lethal Pride, Corrupted Blood here, and then a Thread of Hope. So I think that's everything. I'm not entirely sure. I think that's everything though. This is our Sentinel tree. If you care, you can pause it, take a screenshot, whatever. This is our Alice tree at the moment. This is kind of just set up for bossing and a little bit of mapping. This is, I've been doing challenges, so don't take this seriously, really. Anyways, well, anyways, guys, that is the build. That's my Lightning Striker. He's not great, but he gets the job done. I'll put in like some mapping footage at the end and like a couple of bossing stuffs. Probably not uber-exarch because that's honestly just such a bitch of a fight. But maybe like, you know, just some regular stuffs, maybe like some Maven. I'll probably put in like a simulacrum, possibly. But yeah, so that is the build, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Adios. Take care. Love you a long time. Peace out. Bye.
This is not a battle you can win, hatchling.
You and I shall claim victory.
I think less. Inescapable doom.
My champion, energize the spheres.
Conceal.
Be gone.
I think less. Fish. Escape from
Oh,
me.
Or at least, until the others arrive to challenge me for this realm.
For exalts, it's rolled absolutely terribly, but hey, that's okay.
It is not a battle you can win, hatchling.
You and I shall claim victory, my champion.
Inescapable doom.
My champion, energize the spheres.
Conceal.
Be gone.
Raging mass. Sickle. Omniscience, escape from pain.
I'm not up to that just yet. My mana is gone.
The challenge begins. Your champion will fall.
Ready yourself, my champion. I cannot aid you in this battle.
Simulacrum, Solar Storm. Astral Avalanche. Oh, unexpected. Your champion. Maven, the challenge begins. Your champion will fall.
Ready yourself, my champion. I cannot aid you in this battle.
Replica! Solar Storm!